Hey guys, it's Trent here from Animal Warforge, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to paint gems with an airbrush. So here's your paint list. Depending on which coloured gem you want to paint, pick the corresponding colours. There's some necessary colours that you'll need for each gem, so you might need to pause that and have a look. I forgot to film and add in the base coating black step, so base coat your model black. We're going to do the gems before actually painting the model. I'll explain why later. But first off, we come in with Xerxes purple. I don't know how to say that. But the idea is you need to pick a light source. So on this gem, I'm assuming that the light's hitting the gem from the top left. So we want to leave that area dark, pretty much black. And then the light's going to shine through at the bottom right. So that's where our purple is going to give the gem its colour. So using the airbrush thinned out with VALLEJO airbrush thinner, you can use whichever thinner you want. I lightly spray the purple from a 75-degree angle at the gem coming from the bottom right, and we're working up a gradient to about 3/4 of the way up to the top, as you can see there, leaving that black oval shape visible. You might need to come in from the top right as well, just so you can give the end of the gem some colour as well, which will add to the depth. So you're basically just working up that gradient until you're happy with it. You don't want to do it too much just yet, just enough to bring it up to that purple colour, especially down in the bottom right. You want it to be the base colour Xerxes purple, or purple. Don't be afraid of overspray, it's all going to be covered up later on. You can also slightly tint that black spot that we're trying to keep black with the purple, just so it gives it a bit more hue. Then we come in with some GENESTEALER purple, also thinned out to desired consistency, and pretty much repeat the same step, but this time we're trying to keep about 1/3 of the GENESTEALER purple on the gem, so leaving some of the previous purple shade showing through and a lighting in that bottom third and the very right of the gem as well. As you can see, it's really started to bring out that purple. And then we add white scars, probably about a 1:1 ratio to the mix that's left in your airbrush. You may need to add a bit more thinner, but you're looking for a kind of lilac colour. I can't tell you exactly what colour it is, you just kind of got to wing that shading step. And then you might want to lower your PSI on your airbrush, and then you want to come in really close, and I found it easier to let the airbrush flow away from the gem and just kind of brush this last highlight colour into the very bottom corner. So you don't want a whole lot, just a tiny little bit. Then once that's all dry, we thin out VALLEJO Game Color ink Violet, thinned out about 1:1 with water. So it's like a glaze, and we're just going to airbrush that over the gem. You might need to give this 1 or 2 coats depending on your first coat, but make sure you let it dry, otherwise the ink's going to run and get all blotchy, and it's completely going to ruin the flawless gem effect that we're going for. So apply your coats and let it dry. So after that's dried, we're going to be coming in with some white. You may need to either use a wet palette or dry retarder or some kind of acrylic retarder to slow the pace that your paint dries, because this is kind of fine detail step. You can get most paint retarders from your hobby stop or hobby shop and art supply store, or you can just use a wet palette and thin it out with water. So as I'm already talking about it. We're just adding a small line to the bottom right corner of the gem with that white, and we want it really thin so we get that nice crisp line in there. So you do that bottom line in the corner there, and then flip it over and do a smaller line or dot in that black dark area. Just like so. So before moving on to this next step, you want to make sure that the lines that you just did in white are completely dry. If you use the dry retarder, it might take a little bit longer, as it does slow down your drying time. So yeah, just make sure they're dry before moving on to the next step. So next up, we're going to come in with some gloss varnish. I'm using the VALLEJO gloss varnish, but you can use any kind of gloss medium that you have. We do about 2 or 3 coats of gloss varnish onto the gem, applying thin liberal coats each time, making sure that the previous layer is dry before applying the next one. I do so many because I found that the glossy, clear glaze that it gives the gem gives more emphasis to a gem-like quality. Once that's done, you've done your gem. So while I've got this chance, I'm going to give a big thanks out to FearGFX for helping me design my Animal Warforged logo, as it is in the bottom right corner of the screen. So a big thanks out to you. If you haven't gone to his channel before or heard of him, check out his channel. There's a link in the description below, and there's also an annotation at the start of the video. So once again, thank you. So once the gloss varnish is done and dried, you're done. Mask it off with either BLUTAK or masking tape or masking fluid, whichever one you have, and then airbrush or paint over as desired. As you can see, I use the paintbrush just to speed up the process here, and you can really tell the difference. But you can see the gem, the kind of depth you get from the top angle. It's a really nice looking gem. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe, like and comment if this video helped you. Stay tuned for more painting tutorials and other videos shortly to come. Have a good day.